My mom, she cooked for us, but it was nobody there for us to serve.
But she was there.
Yeah, she was there.
To serve.
She was there to serve.
She didn't want to be served.
I'm not saying my mom was not a good mother.
I don't think that's necessary because your mom, she did what she knew how to do.
Right.
And she did her best doing that.
Right.
You know, she can only do so much. She's a single mom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you need a balance, a male and a female dynamic. Young women I encourage to get married quickly. That's the thing. Hurry up and leave my house. Get your own family.
How do they know this person is going to be their person? My person. Nobody knows.
Ma'am, nothing in this world is guaranteed.
Okay.
Zero. There's no guarantee in anything in life.
Right. Welcome to the Odd Couple,
where real conversations get real. Thanks again for tuning in. We really appreciate your viewership. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Rod.
Today we're going to be talking about 2 different discussions, and we're going to also be answering questions that you guys sent us.
Yes, our email is theoddcouplepad@gmail.com. You can send us email, give us your thoughts, comments, and suggestions. We're open to suggestions, because we believe this podcast, is a community-based. It's about progression in relationship as far as the male and the female is concerned. So your input is well appreciated. We're going to take off with a very important topic of discussion. Is grooming a thing of the past? When we say grooming, we're not talking about adult grooming, okay? When we say grooming, we're talking about grooming women, young women, for marriage. Is it a thing of the past? Is grooming young women for marriage a thing of the past? I'm not a woman, thankfully, so you're going to hit the show running.
I think, well, I'll just say from, coming from being a teenager, to growing older. Mm-hmm. I think that it can happen. It just depends on how you were raised,
What can happen?
Being groomed into becoming
a wife.
A wife,
mm-hmm.
Correct, right. And being married, Some situations are different with any type of woman, coming from, again, a single mom or a family home that's in a marriage, with a mom and
it depends on the family structure.
Exactly,
okay.
Depending on it. So some girls can get groomed that way, some girls don't,
So when you say some girls can get groomed, mm-hmm. what do you mean?
If you come from a single mom home,
mm-hmm.
she's basically going to tell you, like, this is how a man is supposed to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let nothing else,
Okay.
When you go on the first
date. Don't take shit from no man.
Right. When you go on the first date, don't have sex with him,
right.
Or if you guys go out, he has to do this for you, That's different grooming. But if you're growing up in a married household,
2 families.
You see, exactly, a mom and dad.
Right.
You see already, a female sees how her dad treats her mom.
Mm-hmm.
So she's getting that already. She already knows how this guy is supposed to treat me. So
mm-hmm.
she don't have to go out there looking or telling this person how they're supposed to treat her
mm-hmm.
come in any situation.
So it's like a natural progression of things.
Exactly.
Because there's mom, there's dad, mm-hmm. and you see mom, for example, serving dad, when he comes
right.
home from work, you see mom making sure that the home is ran in the way it's supposed to, as far as everything, because she manages the home.
Correct.
Is that the family setting you grew up in? Or it was a little different?
It was all different.
Okay,
I still had both of my parents
mm-hmm.
in my life, but it was different households. So, I had my mom in one household and my dad in one household.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, but they never had remarried until we got older, like out of the home setting.
What you mean they never remarried?
Like they never brought anyone else in the house. So like my dad didn't have like
another woman,
wife, and my mom didn't have another husband.
But they were separated.
Right, they were separated, but they live in different homes. So I didn't really see, my mom getting, treated the way she should have been treated with my dad because he wasn't there.
Right.
Not saying she was dating. She was.
Also, that's
dating.
where you get your feminist ideology from.
I mean, that might be true. You know, that might be true. You know, that's why I said some things are different. You know, but if you look into a female or a lady, well, I'm not gonna say all 100%. I'm just giving my point of view, because some people can say that's not true. Some people can say, well, I was raised by my mom and she showed me
how to be a lady, how
yes,
to
my
run
mom
a home.
definitely showed me how to be a lady, but she also explained to me what I should get from a man.
Right.
But you know, you see what I'm saying?
Well, let's get some examples.
Like example, you know, he shouldn't, if you're dating a man or you're going out with a man, he shouldn't only take you out during the week. You guys should go out on the weekend. You know, if he's not.
What is the difference though during the week?
Because during the week it's like, you know, you're busy, you're working. So by the time you're getting off, it's just like, okay, I'm going to go ahead, hurry up and take her out, and then it's over with. We're going home. We have to work the next day. On the weekend, you can spend time with each other. You know, you could do things. You can go out to places and be out together all day. You know, but if she explained to me, if that doesn't happen, then it's either that person don't want to be with you, or that person have someone else in their life, or they have to deal with, you know, other things. You know, so that's how she groomed me and my sisters up. You know, and that's, to me, that's not more of like I'm keeping to myself, but I take some of her points, and then I also take from what I learned on my own. You know, and just go from there.
What did you learn on your own?
You know,
like,
I mean, I learned
learn on your own as far as growing up, being a woman, having your kids.
Yeah, like you know, taking care of myself, living.
The independent aspect of things, right?
You know, working. You know, having my own home, having my own car.
Right.
You know, being like that, taking care of my kids. That's, you know, that's a different way. So it's come from love, and then it comes for love, and then it comes for, you know, taking care of yourself.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then with a female that lives with her parents, you know, she sees that, so she already know, once I go out in this world, I know that it's going to be the guy, whoever comes to me, they should already know what I need. I shouldn't have to explain to them. So that's what they're looking for. So that's my point of view of, you know, being groomed and seeing how you can get groomed to becoming into a wife.
Do you know what it takes to be a wife?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Communication, understanding to your spouse, making sure you listen to their needs, you know, just looking, you know, point of view of what they're going through, even if they're not speaking to you. Example, if they're not speaking to you, you know, you go and, you know, see what's going on, because some people are not, they won't speak, you know, they'd rather somebody come to them and say anything. I think you just have to be that person that your spouse wants you to be a good wife.
So, in being a good wife, do you believe in submission? That's a long pause right there. You know.
I think nowadays, yes. But if you would ask me 20 years ago, I would have probably been like, well, what am I getting out from it? You know what I'm saying?
Why is that? Is it because of your mom's impact?
No, it's not because of my mom's impact. It's just, now it's just like, I'm 20, you know, you're so-and-so. So what, if I'm going to be this, what am I getting from you? But now, to me, as I get older, I just think of like, no, you be your person, Corey. You give whoever you want to give to, all of you, so they can understand, this is my person. Corey is my person. You understand what I'm saying?
I kind of do.
Okay.
You know. Yeah, I mean, I think I have a very unique perspective on all of this, because thankfully my background, you know, is a little different from yours, obviously, because I grew up in West Africa, you know, and thankfully I had my mom and my dad who, you know, and my dad was the traditional male figure in the household. In terms of when I say traditional, you know, he went to work pretty much took care of everything.
Right.
My mom was always a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
Prior to that, she used to be an air hostess when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, around the time I probably had just met. But after she started giving birth,
Right.
you know, she was a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
You know, and then she basically ran the home.
Okay.
You know, and I have two sisters, so there was always an interchange in terms of like cooking and stuff. My mom was not the only one cooking. She would teach them how to cook.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And sometimes when she's tired, they'll be the one that will put food on the table for my dad when he comes home from work.
Okay.
Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Specifically giving them instructions on how to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I think these are important elements for young girls in society because it's been lost upon us, especially in America. You know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that I see is just like foreign. My experience in dating women who are American,
Right.
you know, after a couple of dates and we started to get along and you come and visit. So I noticed the women that I dated who are probably from Africa or from the Caribbean who were raised in a traditional setting, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a big, sharp contrast between the American raised and the Caribbean or African raised.
What's the difference?
Example, okay, if I cook, for example, naturally, the African, they will take the dishes and wash it.
Right.
Wash the dishes off, arrange everything right away.
Okay.
Without me even saying anything.
Okay.
You know, it's amazing how that just plays out. And stuff like that just makes a man go like, oh, she could definitely be a wife.
Right.
Because she already knows what to do without you even asking. It's a natural role. But on the contrary, most of the American, not all, but most that I've dated, I'll cook and they'll eat, you just put the plate right in the sink, come and sit down.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you experience that dynamic between the two, it makes it hard for you to like really, you know, want to move in the direction that female want to move. Because as a man, those things should be important. Yeah. You know, that it doesn't make you a house slave.
Right.
You know, it's just natural feminine things to do. You know, same thing with making the bed, you know, or even like just taking care of the bathroom. See your man's bathroom not well kept or whatever, you know, he's very busy or whatever, you know, clean it, arrange the refrigerator. I dated like an African chick. She will come when she comes in, everything will be straightened out. It's like she lives here. She would just take over the home.
Right.
And that is a very important feeling. It gives you like
comfort.
It gives you comfort and it gives you a tunnel vision in a way. You kind of like picture that person living with you for the long haul automatically because it just seems very easy.
Okay.
You know. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When she did that, did you question her like why did she do it or did no?
Why would I question that?
I mean, I'm just
I already
asking,
know.
you know.
I already know this is normal because again, like I said, my background, I was raised.
So what if an American girl did that? Would you question her?
Question her for what?
Like, why did you clean? Like, because some people would say, oh, like you clean my bathroom for what reason? You know.
I mean, I wouldn't question anything. I mean, I would just say thank you and appreciate it more. It would make me want to do more stuff for her naturally. Gotcha. That's what would make me want to do. Okay. You know, because if she can take initiative and do things, that tells me, number one, I don't really have to remind her to clean the house or do this or that. Right. She already knows what she's supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And I've also dated Europeans, and I got some of that experience too. You know, with Europeans. I probably one a few times I've experienced something similar with African American or people American raised women. You know, there's a stark difference.
Yeah, I hear a lot of guys say that foreign girls are different from American girls. American in general, our lives are like here for us. You know, foreign people know that cleaning is there. That's what they have to do. You know, most American people will walk in the house and be like, we'll put our shoes down, and they'll be like, I'll get those later. And then, soon you know it, the shoes are piled up, you know. But if you go to a foreign house, that's even Asians, Africans, anybody. You go to their house, they have their shoes lined up because
outside the door.
it's tradition, right, to not walk in the house with shoes. Exactly. But with us, that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it because we're tired, So some people have
doing it because you're tired, or you didn't have a parent to reinforce that.
Well, probably that too.
Right.
But if you look at it with the American, like you explained, some people do it, some people don't. With the cleaning situation or doing things that you don't have to ask them to do. Okay, for example, your sisters. Your mom showed them how to do it even when she wasn't there.
Right.
So they already knew.
Mm-hmm.
So again, some parents don't do that with their their kids, My mom, she cooked for us, and she explained to us, like, this is how you do it, but it was nobody there for us to serve. You see what I'm saying? So now as we're older, we know, like...
But she was there.
Yeah, she was there.
To serve.
She was there to serve.
She didn't want to be served?
No, to serve, but not in a man situation, like a man.
Yeah, but she could have still, at least.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
yeah, that could have been handed down.
I'm not saying my mom was not a good mother.
She
was a good mother. She raised us very well.
And actually, not to cut you off, I don't want to lose my train of thought. I think saying your mom is not a good mom, I don't think that's necessary, because your mom, she did what she knew how to do.
Right.
And she did her best doing that.
Right.
She can only do so much. She's a single mom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you need a balance.
Yeah.
A male and a female dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
That way, because, women are more nurturers, right? And men, we provide law and order, structure.
Yeah.
We are more logical to things, So I don't think you should, this is my opinion, make that statement that my mom was not a bad mom just because she didn't teach you certain things about how to be a woman. That doesn't make her a bad mom.
Right.
She probably just didn't know any better, or she probably was just too busy, trying to take care of you guys. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Right.
So I think, so basically it's safe to say the problem is what? Not having two parents in a household. That's where it starts.
Not all the way, but that's where it can start.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
There's more to it.
Right.
But we can say that's one of the issues.
Right. Correct.
Okay. So how was it living with your dad? Because you.
I only live with my dad like vacation, like holidays and summertime. So it wasn't really like, he was very strict on things, but never like showing like this is how a man's supposed to do things for you. So I really didn't get that from him. You see what I'm saying? So I can't really.
So that was your mom's role, basically.
Exactly.
She did that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on what she knew.
No, exactly.
Did she tell you about her upbringing? Well, what do you know about your mom's upbringing?
Yeah, she told me about her upbringing.
What do you know?
Being raised.
Okay, how was she raised?
With my grandmother.
Just with your grandma?
Yeah, but my grandmother showed her like
how to be a woman.
Right.
Okay.
Like cooking wise and cleaning wise. That was back then.
Right.
As years goes on.
Right.
Single moms and women, life gets busy.
Right.
You have to work 2 jobs. You have to work 3 jobs to take care of your family. So she showed us how to do these things, like clean. Make sure your house is clean. My house is clean because that's what my mom told me. Make sure your kids have a dinner every night. That's what my mom showed me. But it wasn't showing like how to nurture, like if a guy is in your home.
Right.
I know if my mate or whoever I'm with, they come to my home, I cook, they're gonna eat. You see what I'm saying? They don't have to do nothing because they're in my home. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's just so when she was raised with my grandmother was very stern and showed them how to do things. And then when it came to her, she showed us, but in a loving way. So it was more loving. This is how you do it. and then instead of being stern.
Mm.
With my dad, it was more stern, but it wasn't showing loving.
Mm.
Like, it didn't show us like how a man is, this is what a man's supposed to do for you, or once you become and you're about to be married, or you're about to have someone that you're going to be connected to.
Why do you think that was the case, though? Was he just busy, or he just didn't care?
No, I'm not saying he didn't care. Probably more busy than anything.
Or he probably didn't know any better?
Anyway.
Did you say that? Or that's going to make your dad a bad person?
I'm not going to say that, no. I'm just going to say he was probably more busier than anything,
What was your dad's profession? What did he do?
Music.
Music?
Yes.
What kind of music?
More into the go-go. But
Go-go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
DC girl. Okay.
Yeah,
so he was like a professional musician.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
going on
music
tours and stuff like that.
Tours, producing people music, taking it to radio stations, making sure they get, played and stuff.
Did he really take you guys out, treat you guys, do all this stuff,
He did all of that.
Okay.
Took us to like music concerts, travel with us, made sure we did things. But it just wasn't the love. I mean, it wasn't showing us like in relationship wise how this is supposed to happen, like when you start dating. So basically in life now where I'm at, I use it. I take my relationships from my heart. This is how I'm going to give my person. They're going to take it or...
What's back to change though?
What do you mean? Explain.
Because you said when you were younger, 20 years ago, you were more like, now there's a difference.
Because I'm older now, so it should be now like, okay, Corey, like this is the point that you should have your person, like.
So you're kind of like more desperate now. That's what it is.
It is not being desperate. It's not being desperate because I will
the clock is ticking.
I will wait until 10. I will wait until 10 more years. Right.
You went to 10 more years.
And 10 more years.
How old will you be in 10 more years?
Until my birthday's in a few days.
How old will you be in 10 years?
I will wait until 10 years until my mate that I know is going to be like, we're going to be like equal,
What do you mean equal?
Like it's going to be good. Like I know that's my person. I know that we are good. And that's where I'm at a point now. Like, okay, and now it's time to, you have to let that person in, Corey. Because at first I had like a wall up, like, why do you want, when I was in my 20s, like basically, what do you want from me? What, I can't give you anything. This is me, but now it's like, I have to let that person in.
Why was that the case though? Why was that the case in your 20s? You were still just like...
I had no kids,
And no kids. You didn't really
still
give a
in
damn.
school. I was still in college. I was still, trying to figure out my life. And it's just basically like, if I get into anything now, where would I be like later on? Like, am I going to be married or something like that? So it's just like basically living your life.
And your mom didn't. And your mom didn't specifically guide you in that direction. She did not.
It's almost marriage. Like I'm not gonna say that she did because she let us live. She let us choose how we want to live. You see what I'm saying? Like, of course she said, be patient. Wait till your person comes. She tells us that. She tells us
live your life.
She tells us that now. God has somebody for everybody. You go out and look for people. That's not.
Yeah, that's one of the difference again in the more traditional setting as far as the way I was raised.
Right.
Young women are encouraged to get married quickly.
Right.
Your parents will always be on your ass to get married. Like, hurry up and leave my house. That's the message. That's the theme. Hurry up and leave my house. Get your own family.
How do they know this person is going to be their person?
What do you mean? You put yourself out there. Like, you put yourself out there by being submissive. Okay. How do you know the person is going to be your person? By being submissive, which is like things that naturally handed down to you from your mom.
Okay.
You know, how to take care of a man,
Okay.
right? Okay, how to cooperate with a man. That means coexist.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So if you give that man, if that 18-year-old or 19-year-old, give that to that man, how do you know how does she know that is really her person? Because she's given all of that to him. So how does she know this is my person? I'm going to be with this guy forever. Like, how does she know? She doesn't know, right? Nobody knows.
Ma'am, nothing in this world is guaranteed.
Okay.
Zero. There's no guarantee in anything in life.
Right.
You know, one of my mentors once told me, it is a risk not to take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So life is a risk.
Okay.
Simple as that. So if you're at 19, for you to be thinking, why do you, when you're younger, you don't even think about all those, you don't worry about things like that anyway. You're more free, you're more liberal when you are younger. So I'm kind of confused as to why you were thinking this way at that age. Because when people are younger, they tend to be more liberal. The older you get, you become more conservative. So why were you so caught up in, oh, is this person going to be my person at that young age? Why?
Because you're giving all of that to this person. Like,
so when you get older, you are not giving all of yourself to the person?
No, you are.
Okay, so what's the difference then?
Because what I'm stating is that she's 18 and 19. She's giving this to this person. How does she know that this person is going to give her what she needs?
You know by being with the person.
Okay.
That's why you got to experience relationship.
So that's
right?
Why people that's been married so long.
Yes, you got to get in the water. If you want to learn how to swim, you got to jump in the water.
Right.
You know, you can't say I want to learn how to swim, but I'm not going to jump in the water. That doesn't work.
That's true.
Okay, so you got to jump in the water and try it out. That's what you got to do. You know, you will know if that person is your person. If that person is abusive to me, is that person, does he talk down to me all the time? Mm-hmm. Does he motivate me to be better? You know, does he allow me to be myself? Right? Okay. All of those things you will know, right? And you'll be like, nah, this person is not for me, right? These are elementary stuff. You know, so the point is, women are encouraged, or we're encouraged. I'm still thinking that's the case because I've left home for over 15 years now. You know, I'm hoping it's the same, you know, because, well, you know, with the influence of the West, you know, with the internet, social media, the influence is actually affecting what's going on in Africa right now. You know, I can tell you that. I saw a documentary that really, really got me a little nervous about the mindset of young people now. Mm-hmm. The trend is like they're taking more of the Western perspective of certain things as far as relationship and all that stuff. So that is very troubling, you know, because obviously in the West, that experiment has failed women. I think it's safe to say, because you have a lot of successful middle-aged women, you know, who are single today at a very alarming rate. Okay. Why? Because the notion of be independent, I don't need no man, I can do it all by myself, I make my own money, you know, that right there is a big, big problem. So we definitely do not want that in Africa, that's for sure. Right. You know. Yeah. Have you read the book Things Fall Apart? No. Yeah, it was by Chinua Achebe. You know, there's a saying in that book, things fall apart, the center cannot be held. Okay. So when things fall apart, the center can no longer hold. And that center is our value, our customs and tradition that we hold dearly. Okay. You know, the moment that falls apart, we are doomed as a society. Right. And that's what's happening in America. You know, there's no structure in the home. You know, everyone thinks they're the leader. The woman thinks she's a leader. She thinks she's the boss. You know, you know, challenging the man. You know, when naturally the role of the man is the lead, right? Yeah. And so, every other spheres of life, there is structure. You go to work. Isn't there structure?
Yeah.
Who is the boss? You know who the boss is, don't you?
Right.
Okay. And the funny thing about a lot of women in today's society, they will go to work and take order from their boss.
You was about to say.
But
Not from their man.
not from their man.
Yeah.
Isn't that a backward way of doing things?
It is. I'm gonna give you points. It is. You're correct on that.
Yeah.
So,
You know, where's that coming from?
I think they just say, "This is my money. This is my job." But no, I understand. That is true what you're saying. They will take more from their boss than their man. So you're correct on that.
Yeah, that's a backward way of doing things. And then sadly, like back home, that's not the case. You know, women understand their role. They can be lawyer, doctor, physician, whatever profession. They understand their role.
Right.
The biggest problem is no one understands the role in this society. And if you don't understand your position, if you played a game, you are doomed to fail.
Yeah.
Every sports you think about, there's always position. You see what I'm saying? There's always positions, different positions. We have the goalkeeper in soccer. We have the striker. Their job is to score the goal. The keeper, stay in the goal. The woman is the one who stays in the goal to support the man while the man go and get the hustle, the goal. You see it? We need to understand our role. A woman needs to understand her role, and a man needs to understand his role.
Okay.
But because of the trend and where we are headed in society, most men are confused as fuck. They don't even know what their role is. Because the women are taking over. They want to be the boss. They want to run shit. It's like, so now, especially the guys who were not raised how to be a man, they are doomed. They capitulate easily when they for the women. Very easy, because you don't understand your role as a man. If you don't understand your role, how can you stand up as a man? You don't know what you're standing on.
Yeah.
You know, understanding your role does not mean you are a boss. Understanding your role does not mean it's my way or the highway. It's just understanding that I'm the man, I'm supposed to lead, I'm supposed to provide, I'm supposed to guide my woman in the right direction. And sadly, a lot of guys don't understand that. Yeah. And so it makes it hard sometimes, you know, to play devil's advocate for women to actually follow someone who doesn't really understand what its role is.
Correct.
So you see the corruption in society?
That's it.
Right.
That's it. Definitely see it.
You know, the way we were raised, even boys, especially in my culture, because my tribe is Creole from Sierra Leone, my dad, the boys are actually taught how to cook.
Okay.
So think about that, not just the girls. Boys were taught.
That's what I was going to ask you. If your mom showed you, you and your brother, did she show you guys how to do that, or you just learned from watching her?
Well, for us, again, they have different tribes, you know, in each country. They have different tribes. Every tribes have something a little different from the other tribes. But in general, gender role is a thing. That was the word I was missing, gender role. Okay. You know, for most countries. I'm not saying all over Africa, because I wouldn't be in all over Africa. I can speak for West Africa. Okay. You know, in West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Guinea, Sierra Leone, all these countries, gender role is a thing. You know.
In your household, did your mom show you guys, or you just watched her? Like, you learned from watching her?
My mom taught us. For us, the advantage was my dad had a business, a catering business, you know, food and catering services. So basically, there was always cooking going on in the household. I used to hit the kitchen because in my mind, that's the role of the woman. You know, because naturally in society, that's what we see. The woman, she cooks, clean, and take care of the home. That's how it was back then. Okay. You know, and the man goes to work. But since my dad had this business, they ran the business together. Okay. My dad and my mom, they ran the business together. She was playing the supportive role as a wife. And so there was always cooking going on around, you know. And so just by standing from afar and watching, I just learned naturally. You know, so it was easy. Right. But again, my tribe, boys, I actually expected to cook and do household stuff as well. You know, not just the women. So most of the boys, the Creole in Sierra Leone, we know how to cook. We can do the fufu, the soup, and all that stuff, right? Again, and now that is a necessary skill. So think about it. If you meet a guy like me who knows how to cook, who knows how to run the home, basically, and you come in my domain and you don't know how to do that, what value are you adding? I'm looking at you like, I can do this by myself.
So you don't need me.
Yeah, exactly. So you see what I'm saying? That means you got to step up your game even more. You see the difference?
Right.
There you go. Because I pretty much know how to make my money. I know how to cook, take care of my home, and do everything.
That's good that you said that, because a lot of guys are like that. So they would think, I don't need her. I just need her basically for sex. I don't need her around here. You see, sex is like a big thing now. That's why a lot of people don't get committed or get married or anything, because, like your example, you know how to do all of these things. Why should I have you in my presence? Or why should I be, we should be one? Because I don't need you for anything, because I know how to do everything. A female can go in and cook for you, right? And you don't like it because this is not how you're used to it.
No, that's not how I think. The thing about me is, I don't think one way.
Okay.
Even though I was raised in Africa, I'm not more of a rigid person in my thought process. Okay. I'm very flexible. Okay. I like balance. I believe there's a balanced approach to everything. There are good aspects of the American culture, and there are bad aspects. So I would take the good aspect, that free thinking, freedom of expression, and being open-minded. All of those things are good aspects of the American culture. Okay. And I blend it with my background, which is more traditional, and I find a middle ground. So if you cook for me, whether it's good or not, I'm not gonna bash you because you don't know how to cook. Right. I'm not gonna do that.
When I say that she don't know how to cook, just stating like this is different from what I'm used to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but again, like I said, I'm very open-minded.
Okay.
I'm not closed-minded. That's why most of the women I've dated, not necessarily from Africa, I've dated probably 2 or 3 Africans. And majority are from the Caribbean, a few Americans, Europeans here and there. I like to explore. I like to try and learn different things. You gotta be open-minded. You gotta be open-minded, open to different cultures, different experiences, try different things. But a lot of people don't want to try anything. And you can't grow if you can't try different things. Right. So naturally, those aspects of the American culture, I embrace it, because I'm open-minded. I want to learn a different thing. I want different experiences, right. Granted, there's some bad aspect of the African culture as well. The danger of the African culture is, you're obviously programmed to think one way, and your way is the best way, is the end-all be-all. And that actually, you cheat yourself when you think like that, because you are closed off when it comes to being an American, for example. You probably, because you have a preconceived notion that, Americans, especially African Americans, they are, no good, they are lazy, they don't know how to take care of a man. No, I give everybody a clean slate. It doesn't matter. That's me. I want you to prove yourself to me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Prove yourself to me, and then I'll make that determination. That's how I approach life. I'm not going off of just yes say or what someone else. I had a very interesting dialogue with my uncle last year. We went over to visit them in Ohio, so we had this discussion. He's one of those Africans. I hope you're not watching, but you'll be all right. He's one of those Africans who are more rigid in their thought process, who believes the African way is this, is that, African Americans lazy, they don't want to work, He's not a bad person. It's just his experience. It's just, his mentality. Okay. And that is a very,
But how long has he been here?
He's been here for years, way longer than me, probably like 40 years. He owns his home, business, everything. He's very successful and everything. So we had this conversation, and I was like, I challenged him. And in an African setting, again, you are not supposed to challenge your elders and all of that stuff. But we had a healthy debate, and he was taken aback for the fact that I was like respectfully corrected him on some of his thinking. I pushed back on that.
Uh-huh.
The more we talked, I realized his way of thinking was affected by his experience while he was in college. Because when Africans come to America sometimes, you know, especially with our strong accent, I experienced that when I was in college back in New York at the Art Institute of New York. My accent was super strong at the time. You know, I was in film school. And some of the African Americans, they were always teasing me. You know, they would laugh at my accent, you know, but my confidence level is always solid. So I didn't let that really bother me.
Right.
Now think about someone who has self-esteem issue, who is still figuring out their confidence, you know, that can really affect them. So I think that left an impact on him, you know, the experience that he endured while he was in college.
Yeah.
He's still bitter about that experience,
Right.
you know, is affecting his thought process as far as African Americans are concerned. And then again, that idea is actually reinforced by the media, you know, what people say about African Americans. You know, some people run with it, but African Americans are very successful. I live in Maryland. It's like 62%, Baltimore, for example, 62% of the population is black.
Yeah.
And there are tons of people that own homes. If you go to certain neighborhoods, because I'm in sales, I go to different neighborhoods. There are a ton of people that own nice houses, live in really nice neighborhoods, 400, 500,000 plus mortgages. You know, majority are black.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing the media does not really talk about.
Right.
You know,
they
so
don't show it.
yeah, they don't show it. They only focus on the negative aspect. To answer your question, I was impacted, yes, by my parents, you know, as far as growing up and doing stuff. And to also add to this, most African cultures, when it comes to grooming women, women go through an extensive ceremony, especially the young girls from the ages of sometimes 9 upwards until when they're teenagers. Between that age, they go through secret society.
Okay.
Right? And they will leave the household probably for a month or maybe even longer. And during that period, older women who are married, who have experienced life, would teach these girls how to manage a household, how to take care of a man. You know, they will do that, and then there will be a celebration at the end of that experience, which is like a mini college, you know, if you want to say it, as a secret society. And so they wouldn't leave that place. It's like they'll go in the bush or whatever. They wouldn't leave that bush until a whole month or two, and then when they come out, now they are ready to embrace their role as women. You see what I'm saying? So those aspects actually plays a role. So if you go through that, you know, naturally you're gonna be a feminine woman. You know, you're gonna understand what your role is. Your role is to support, it's to serve, it's to help. You know, not to challenge, not to be disrespectful. You know, take care of your home, raise your kids. You know, help your husband. That is the role. Now, the reality of things is we're in a different world. You know, technology, the media, the job market is quite different. There are many opportunities for women these days. Lots of women are educated. So I'm not going to approach life thinking I expect every woman to just be a housewife and just play that role. But there should be a balance.
Gotcha.
You know, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. But to say, because I work, I make my money, I shouldn't take care of the house, I shouldn't be feminine, is the biggest scam women have ever been told.
That should not happen, especially when you're married. I don't think. Even when you're living with your mate or your boyfriend, I don't think that should be. A female shouldn't say that, you know, because again, the man is the person.
Are you that female? Is that how you operate?
No. Depends. I lived with men before, and if they're watching this video now, they could come and state that I was a good person to live with.
We're gonna fact check, ma'am.
they would let you know I was a good person to live with. Like, I made sure that they were taken care of.
In what way?
In every way. Cooking, cleaning. The other one.
And by the way, not to change the subject, it was not just women that go through the process of learning how to be women. The man too. The boys too. Really they went through the same thing. That is very necessary.
Yeah.
You know, to enhance the family structure. You know, but if you don't understand, if your parents didn't hand that down to you.
That's the same with us too. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. That's the same with us too, and African Americans when boys live with two parent homes. They see how their fathers treating that woman. Oh, I remember that night my dad brought my mom flowers. Let me go get, Samantha flowers. Take them to her house. But I remember my mom was sitting on the couch and my dad just started rubbing her feet. They see those things. So they already have that mentality. Once I get, whoever I'm going to cherish and marry, they already know right there what they have to do. Living in a single home, they don't see that. So it's basically, nowadays they see social media. That's what they want to get. Especially, I feel so bad for the kids that's growing up now. Like we're in different centuries. We know what we're supposed to be doing. But these kids now don't see that because it's all about what's on the media that they're going to take for love. So who knows how many marriages are going to be coming out from the kids that they have now. Or it's going to be, I'm just going to stay by myself for the rest of my life, because everything is right there in front of them. So back to what I was stating, like with the female knowing, seeing what her mom does is the same as the male seeing what the father does too.
Yeah, I mean, kids learn, it's monkey see, monkey do with kids, Yeah. That's why it's very important what you do around your kids, who you introduce to your kids and all of that stuff, Especially as a dad, if you have a girl, which I have a daughter, I show her what love is supposed to look like. I show her, I try to let her have her own voice as well. She will ask every question. And my daughter, if she's around other kids, she naturally would just be outspoken. She's naturally that way, and I encourage her to be that way. That is who she is, But I also will check her when she steps out of line.
With you.
With anybody else too. I'll let her know. We're not going to do that. That's not what we're doing. And she understands. She's super smart. Kids are super smart these days. So you cannot be all doozy with them. Because if you are doozy with them, guess what? Society is going to be the place of correction from them. And society is a really cold place. So you want to be the one that reinforces that discipline at home. You don't want them to go out there because it's a cold world. Yeah, so cut out all the lovey stuff. You can do it, but there has to be a balanced approach. Some people think when you're hard on your kid, that means you don't love them, or you have to be extra nice with them all the time to show them you love them. It's wrong. Love corrects bad behavior. Right.
I take a dancehall boy, I said it singer. When me say you're 18 at the coco, from Akwa Ibom down to Sokoto, from Enugu down to Oshogbo, we got spread this news like a motto. We got stop all the killing, peace and love we are preaching.